Hello everyone. As every day, I am here with the breaking news. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. To convey better information to you, please subscribe to the channel for free and like and comment on the video. Now we can move on to the details. Kremlin sidesteps question on possible Kherson withdrawal. This content was produced in Russia, where the law restricts coverage of Russian military operations in Ukraine. Kremlin sidesteps question on possible Kherson withdrawal. Live updates. Russia-Ukraine war. Authorities in a region in southern Ukraine that has been annexed by Russia say that at least 4 civilians have been killed by Ukrainian shelling of a river crossing. Authorities in a region in southern Ukraine that has been annexed by Russia last month say that at least 4 civilians have been killed by Ukrainian shelling of a river crossing. Kirill Stremisov, deputy head of the Moscow-installed regional administration in Kherson, said 4 people were killed by a Ukrainian strike on a bridge over the Dnieper River in Kherson late Thursday. Vadim Ilmiev, the top health official in Kherson, said 13 others were wounded in the attack. Ukrainian military officials confirmed that the bridge was struck, but denied that the civilians were killed, as they cannot be on the bridge at this time because of a curfew, after Ukrainian strikes had made the bridge across the Dnieper in Kherson inoperable. Russian authorities organized ferry crossings and pontoon bridges to bring supplies to the city that sits on the western bank of the river and Russian troops in the area. The strike comes as Ukrainian forces are pressing their offensive on the western bank of Kherson. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin appears to be much softer and more open to negotiations on ending the war in Ukraine than in the past. "We are not without hope," he said of the possibility of negotiations. Erdogan made the comments late on Thursday on his return from a trip to Azerbaijan. Hurriyet newspaper and other media reported his comments on Friday. Meanwhile, the Turkish leader, who has held meetings with Putin during the war, says he is optimistic that a UN and Turkish brokered deal that allowed the shipment of millions of tons of Ukrainian grain to world markets can be extended. Erdogan told a group of journalists that he had discussed extending the grain corridor deal with both Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. "There is no obstacle concerning extending the shipping agreement," Erdogan said. "But if there is a blockage, there is no obstacle in us overcoming it." Iran urges nationals in Ukraine to leave country amid escalation. Western countries accuse Iran of supplying drones to Russia to be used in its war in Ukraine. Iran on Friday asked its citizens currently stationed in Ukraine to leave the country and advised others against traveling there as the protracted military showdown gets intense. The foreign ministry said in a statement that all Iranian nationals presently in Ukraine should leave the war-ravaged country for their own safety. It also advised Iranian nationals to refrain from traveling to the country, due to military escalation and increasing insecurity. The statement further asked Iranian nationals in Ukraine to remain calm and contact the country's embassy in Kyiv if needed. The advisory comes amid a rapid escalation in the war, now in its 8th month, with Ukrainian forces making significant territorial advances in the regions recently annexed by Russia. Tensions between Tehran and Kyiv have also heightened amid claims made by Ukrainian officials as well as the US and European officials about Iran supplying drones to Russia to be used in Ukraine. On Thursday, White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby alleged that Iran has deployed military experts in Russian-occupied Crimea to help launch drone attacks on Ukraine. He said Iran was now directly engaged on the ground and through the supply of drones to Russia, adding that the US will pursue all means to expose, deter and confront Iran's provision of these munitions against the Ukrainian people. Ukrainian officials say that they identified the drones used by Russia on the Ukrainian cities on Monday as Iranian-made Shahed 136, known as kamikaze drones. However, both Iran and Russia have strongly refuted the reports, with Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov on Tuesday saying they do not have any information on the matter. Iran's Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian told EU's foreign policy chief Josep Borrell on Thursday that Tehran has defense cooperation with Russia but is opposed to the war in Ukraine. He insisted that it is not Tehran's policy to send weapons and drones to be used against Ukraine, adding that Tehran is trying to put an end to the war in Ukraine. His remarks came shortly after the EU added 3 Iranian individuals and 1 entity to the list of sanctions for undermining or threatening the territorial integrity, sovereignty and independence of Ukraine. The decision, it said in a statement, was the signal of the bloc's resolve to respond swiftly and decisively to Iran's actions supporting Russian aggression against Ukraine. The UK also announced sanctions against Iran on Thursday, with Foreign Secretary James Cleverly calling Iran's alleged involvement in the Ukraine war deplorable. There have been reports that Iran promised Russia surface-to-surface missiles in addition to drones. Some Western news outlets have even published photos of what they claim are remains of Iranian-made drones, Shahed 136 and Mohajer 6, allegedly used in Ukraine by Russian forces. On Wednesday, the Iranian foreign minister told his Croatian counterpart, Gordon Grlic-Radman, that Tehran is opposed to the war and arming any of the warring parties in Ukraine. In a separate call with his Polish counterpart, Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi said his administration will use all its capacities, including diplomatic channels, to bring an end to the raging war. A member of the Kennedy clan has revealed he went to fight in Ukraine and was willing to die, defending it from Vladimir Putin. Connor Kennedy, 28, is the grandson of Robert Kennedy, and son of Robert Kennedy Jr. A decade ago, he dated the singer Taylor Swift. Kennedy, who has returned from Ukraine, said he kept his presence there secret because he did not want his family to worry and to be treated differently by fellow members of Ukraine's International Legion. He wrote on Instagram, "I was deeply moved by what I saw happening in Ukraine over the past year. I wanted to help. When I heard about Ukraine's International Legion, I knew I was going, and I went to the embassy to enlist the next day." He added, "Going in, I had no prior military experience and wasn't a great shot, but I could carry heavy things and learned fast. I was also willing to die there. So they soon agreed to send me to the Northeastern Front." Kennedy did not reveal how long he spent in Ukraine but said it wasn't long. He says, "But I saw a lot and I felt a lot. I like being a soldier, more than I had expected. It is scary, but life is simple, and the rewards for finding courage and doing good are substantial." Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, established the International Legion following the Russian invasion in February, and thousands of volunteers from dozens of countries joined. Thanks for listening. See you the next video.